Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. It's me, Julian, again with a late night video or stream. And we're going to be doing a lot of transfer news talk and some funny data analysis that will probably shock a few of you people. But yes, I'm back. I'm back again. I'm helping Alejandro out with the channel. As you all know, he's on vacation. And I have some time at night now to do some streams for the channel and get to another audience, get to like the North Americans or the early Nighthawk Europeans that want to stay up and watch this. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. It was 37 degrees today here where I'm from. 37 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So it's been hot out here, and I'm in the basement. I thought it'd be a lot colder, but no, such is life. Before we start, could we please like the video if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and we're going to get into our show notes. That's basically, we're going to have four main topics we'll discuss. Again, it's to do with the transfer market and to do with the squad composition. So if you can, pay attention to what we're doing right now. It's those four things as you see there: Weah to Marseille, and if it's going to happen or not. Plus his agent spoke. And if you haven't been following that story, it's kind of wild. Then the Kolo Muani smokescreen and Darwin Nunez topic. Sancho to Dortmund, caught or sprung in the German media, especially Sky Sports Germany. And then, like I said, the data analysis between our center backs and a potential center back that we want, and Giovanni Leone. Our member chat that I'm a part of for the Bianconeri Zone, I put this graphic in there and it turned some people's heads. I'll say that. So we'll do that at the end. And then at the very end, we'll do a Q&A. I'll just literally respond to all the comments that are asking questions about the team and whatever else they want to speak about. So again, if you haven't already, like the video and please subscribe. Let me get back in there to solo layout. Okay, I'm getting better with the StreamYard as well. So that's good. So first topic was Timmy Weah and Marseille, or if he's even going to go to Marseille now. So for context, backstory, Timmy Weah at the end of June was frozen out of the club and during the Club World Cup, and he was supposed to go, well, not supposed to. Juventus had a deal with Nottingham Forest for around 14 million euros. And I think it was it was the third group stage game against Man City where him and Semi Bangula were just frozen out of the squad and sent to the stands, not even a part of the match day squad. Fast forward, a couple days later, they got inserted back into the team. Timmy Weah said no to Nottingham Forest, and so did Mbangula. And Timmy Weah and Mbangula were back into the first team match day squad against Real Madrid in the knockout game, first knockout game, where we lost 1-0. And that was a month ago almost now. Very long time ago in terms of transfer market and all that stuff. He's still on the team. He came to the first day of training on Thursday, and he's been flirting with Marseille for the past, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks. So, okay, cool. No problem. Apparently now all of a sudden Juventus is demanding around 20 million euros for Tim Weah when we already accepted 14 from Nottingham Forest. So obviously the agent is trying to maneuver this move, and he's saying to Marseille, yeah, we've already accepted Juventus have already accepted 14 million for Nottingham Forest. So I think a bit around there should be okay to get the player to go to Marseille and accept it from Juventus. But now all of a sudden Juventus, we're saying, no, we want 20 mil. And the agent from Timmy Weah has come out and started basically telling the club off. If I can, hopefully I can share the screen here because I shared that already. So let me try this again. I want to exit that. Let's see if I can do this on the fly here. Share screen. We're just going to go through we're just going to go through what the agent was saying at the stage. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. I did it. Sweet. Okay. So as you can see, Weah's agent, I forget his name. I think it was like, I don't even want to butcher his name. Don't even worry about it. Weah's agent says Juventus is a fantastic club. The sporting department is run by 3 people. 2 of them have class, and the third is trying to find himself. We can't blame him for that. So we still don't know exactly who he's talking about. If it's Comoli, if it's Chiellini, I don't know why it would be Chiellini. If it's Tudor, if it's the Modesto guy that Modesto who just got there. I don't know who exactly he's calling out, but I think Alejandro assumes it's Comoli, so he's just using that picture. But we'll move on. 2 are looking for solutions. So 2 of the 3 that are running the sporting department, and 1 is creating problems, and we can't afford that. So this probably alludes to the fact that we had an agreement with Nottingham Forest for 14 million, but now all of a sudden we want 20 from Marseille. That's a problem that's being created right now. So that's where Weah's agent is coming through for that. So if we go further ahead, Tim Weah, who has always been professional, was sidelined during the World Cup. Like I said, this individual ruined his World Cup. So again, Comoli or Tudor at this point, and tried to force him to go somewhere where he wanted. So again, Nottingham Forest. Continued. Now, out of spite, he's demanding a fortune, again, which I said, the context of the story, financially speaking, and is waiting for a Premier League offer that will never come. So in this, apparently Leeds and like Everton and another team are in the hunt for Tim Weah as well. And then the agent goes on to say, and even if it did, we would never approve it. So even if Timmy Weah says, or if we get an offer from those Premier League teams and Timmy Weah is not going to say yes, or the agent at least is not going to say yes for him. So this is becoming an issue. Continued. I'm not used to speaking out publicly. Weah's agent goes on, but staying silent today would mean accepting a completely unacceptable lack of respect. And I kind of agree with that. Class can't be bought, not even by a coach. So this is where we get confused if it's by Tudor or Comoli. But it always been part of Juventus' identity. So I think that's the last one. That's the last one for Timmy Weah. So after hearing all that and going through all that, I agree with Timmy Weah's agent in the sense that you accepted 14 million from Nottingham Forest, but now you're demanding 20 million. But I also see Juventus as a side where they want more money. But if you want the player gone, I think at this point you just call it as it is and you sell him for 15 or whatever amount. Like you get into the middle. You can't demand 20 at this point. I'm sorry, you cannot. Especially when you accepted 14 before, you just cannot accept 20. Especially if you don't want this player and you're getting the agent to get you a transfer for him. So I see it both ways. But this agent bullying basically our new management team is kind of funny and kind of indicative of how this whole summer transfer windows played out so far. It's pretty telling. And I don't know if Comoli, because this is like Comoli's 3rd L already. We know about the coaching. We know about the coaching scenario that happened early June where we struck out on Gasperini and Conte and we had to retain Tudor. We know that was Comoli's fault. There was a wild story where apparently he reached out to Gasperini and he said, "You tell me why you should be a Juventus coach." Buddy, you should have done it yourself. You should have been just like, "Gasperini, please come to coach Juventus." That's what he should have done. He was in no position to do that. So that's one L. The other L was the way he handled Timmy Weah and Mbangula in the Club World Cup, and now it's biting him in the butt now. And then finally, it's the Douglas Luiz scenario where I didn't even put him as a topic. I'm just going to loop him in with Timmy Weah and say Douglas Luiz's agent is having fun with the management as well. It's like, yeah, we're not going to show up in time. You want to sell us? Well, you want me to find a move for him? I can find him a move, not for the amount of money you want. And our pants are being pulled down right now. And it's a shame, but at the same time, we're stuck. We cannot make any signings unless these players leave. We cannot improve our team until these players that are stalling their moves leave. And that's why the Mercato has been stagnant so far. I know Mbangula left, so good for the kid. He wanted to just play the sport that he loves. Good for him. And yeah, we move on at this point. It's tough. It's very tough. It's a tough look for our club right now. As of Thursday, so the start of our training camp, we had Johnny David, we had João Mario, and Chico. Yeah, he's there too, but he came on Sunday. So like we've had 3 technically new players come in. One was a retained player. So 2 brand new players that came in. And that's only because one was free and the other one was what's it called? A swap with Alberto Costa, where we probably lost out. And this is a good comment here. Again, Luke R, I'm going to save your comment for the Q&A part, but Havard is saying it's nothing new. It's the same every transfer window. Exactly. Like, to me, Weah is an issue now, but it's the least of our actual issues, if that makes any sense. Like, to me, Weah is a big issue because of his agent now coming out and saying this stuff. But we still have Dusan Vlahovic. We still have Douglas Luiz. We still have a crap load of shit center defenders. And we still have Nico Gonzalez. We still have our Arkadiusz Milik, who's hurt. Like, the list goes on and on. In terms of sellable assets, Weah was probably easy to move, but at the same time, now he's becoming a headache, and it looks like it's kind of our fault. Again, if Marseille offered 15, I think he'd be gone. But now you're sticking your nose out for 20. It is what it is. Okay, so that's the first topic. We spoke about it, Timmy Weah. How much more time do we need to speak about Timmy Weah? 12 minutes, apparently. But we move on to our second topic, and it's we're trying to retain another player in Kolo Muani. And again, this report came from Alfredo Padula. Okay. And we're going to take this with a pinch of salt because Padula has been kind of pretty much wrong with every Juventus news so far this summer. And most of Italian mainstream media have been wrong about saying what's happening in our Mercato. So again, I'm going to pull it up here. And we're going to go back to our Bianconeri Twitter zone. So Gazzetta, well, first we'll go with the Gazzetta report. And it says Juventus are getting closer to Kolo Muani, but again, Gazzetta, shit. It's a shit newspaper for Juventus. Comoli would like to finalize the return within 48 hours with a loan, 10 million. So a 10 million euro loan with an option that could become an obligation. And so it's probably going to be 10 plus 30 or 10 plus 35. And the obligation will probably be very easy, fixed things like, oh, we got top 4. Oh, we scored 10 goals and he played 15 games. Something like that. Like, if we go back to Di Gregorio's deal, Juventus had to get a point in February as a team. And that's how Di Gregorio was made permanent. Same with, I'm pretty sure Locatelli's was like that. And I think Kelly's was like that too. Where there was an option, it was an option on paper, but like it became an obligation once we secured 1 point as a team in February. So, yeah, crazy deals. But that's what Gazzetta is reporting. I don't really believe that right now, that they were close or within 48 hours, but we'll see about that. And then we're going to go skip forward to what Padula said about 3 or 4 hours ago, my time. So around 6 p.m. and I guess 12 a.m. or midnight for the Europeans. But in recent hours, Juventus have made inquiries about Darwin Nunez from Liverpool. Okay. I don't think we have. He goes on to say in his report that it'd be a loan plus whatever option, obligation, all that, yada, yada, yada. Similar formula to what you want to do with Muani. I think this is a smoke screen. I don't think we're actually... Like, if the Muani thing doesn't happen, I can see us then going in for Nunez. But at this point, I don't think we're like saying, hey, we're going to get Darwin Nunez instead of Kolo Muani. I think Kolo Muani is the exact player that we want. and I can go into it because he is the player that is going to provide the pace, the runs in behind, the directness of the attack, the link-up play with Yildiz, all that stuff. We've already seen Yildiz and Muani link up very nicely. We've had a 6-month sample of that, plus the Club World Cup. I think those two are bound to be even better with chemistry with the more time they play together, which is why it's imperative that he comes sooner and the deal gets done quicker. So Muani and Yildiz can continue their chemistry, and then you add a guy like David or Chico Conceição. Again, I think he's a touchline winger. We've gone over this, but like a guy like David can link up with Muani and Yildiz as well very nicely because he's very technical and he knows he can find the right spaces that Muani leaves for him. So that's a nice partnership. But again, I think Nunez is not a thing until Muani is not a thing. So once Muani is not a thing, then I think Nunez could pop up, especially if he isn't sold yet to Saudi Arabia. Now, again, Liverpool's very good at selling. They probably want 50 mil. And are we going to spend that much money? Probably not. We'll probably ask for a loan plus option. And I don't know if Liverpool are going to do that, especially with their high ambitions of getting Isak and possibly Rodrigo. Right? Are we going to be able to fund a Darwin Nunez? I hope not, because this guy is just an athletic Dusan Vlahovic in terms of speed. And at least Darwin Nunez, to be honest, would be good at pressing, not like Vlahovic. So it is what it is. But again, I think right now, I think the focus is on Kolo Muani, and I think that worst case scenario, if the Kolo Muani deal goes astray, Darwin Nunez looks like he could be up, or possibly Højlund, or all those other names that we hear, the other garbage that we hear. So let me know what you think about that. Oh, we got some comments now. Okay, cool. Oh, there you go. Wando corrected the Lord Kelly deal. It was if we didn't get relegated, which is even funnier. This is part of the Lloyd Kelly deal. It's because we didn't get relegated. That's why he became an obligation. Sky, I'm going to get to those comments. Well, to the Sancho comment in his section, which is next. But again, let me know what you think about the Kolo Muani and Nunez thing. Again, I think Kolo Muani is priority one, and I think they're gonna go until the very end to try and get him. And I don't think Nunez will even last that long in the market. So I don't think Nunez is a concrete possibility. What'd you say here? Juventus is. So your comment here is Juventus is everywhere, and when you are everywhere, then you are not anywhere. Huh. Okay. Deep. And then he goes on to say, no matter what kind of team we end up with, we still have a big problem. Tudor is that problem. I agree, 100%. 100% I agree. Igor Tudor is a second-rate coach, and let's not kid ourselves. And Wando responding to topic number 2 and Kolo Muani. Hot take, Kolo Muani will do better than Jonathan David. I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, Kolo Muani is a French international player. He started in the World Cup a lot of games, or he played a lot of World Cup games. He's still on the French national team. He got a big move to PSG. Like, he's a star name. And we've already seen him at Juventus. He has 13 goal contributions in 22 games as a lone player. Like, I think he'll do better than David, but I think all three of them will do well. I think I already said this. I think last live I did last week, and in a video with Alejandro, a pre-recorded video with him, I said our attack will be decent if we get Muani. Like, it'll be free flowing. It'll be like interconnected. Like a lot. It'll be very good. Now I don't know if that's in spite of Tudor. I don't know. I think those players are just really. I think Yildiz, Muani, and David are just really good. And then you throw in a Chico in there to cause chaos. It'd probably be pretty good. So I don't know. I don't know if that's much of a hot take though. I think Kolo Muani will outscore David. I'm almost banking on that. But yeah, thanks for the comment, Wando. And then going on the Kolo talk still. Sky is saying Kolo is very important. If we can't get him, we should just go for someone simple. Yeah, if you mean like inexpensive, sure. Just as like a stopgap, just get a fast guy. Seriously. If he's not good, it's a lot. If like let's say we get a loan and we identify a very pacey player that can create space for Yildiz and David, or Chico if he comes in, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. And then it is what it is. Oh, now there's a lot of comments coming in. I'm going to save Raffaello's. It's very similar to my mom's name. My mom's name is Raffaella. Can I scroll up there? No. Okay. Anyway. Kolo Muani. So Wando's saying, if we get Kolo Muani, how will we line up 45 mil? 45 mil Kolo, David, 40 mil Chico, and Yildiz. Well, you're looking at Kolo, like one will play as a sub. One will get rest per game. Yildiz was free, obviously. Well, he had that little transfer from Bayern Munich. David was free. Kolo Muani is going to be a big investment. Chico has been a big investment, but you could rotate. If you equate 45 mil plus 40 is 85 between those four players, like, yeah, come on. That's fine. I don't think we'll go 4-4-2. We're definitely going to be 3-4-2-1. I think Tudor's incapable of changing. I think he's incapable of changing his way of playing, and I think Kolo Muani would start up top, and Yildiz and David would be the 10s. And then if Kolo Muani was hurt, or if it was his turn for a sub, David's up top, Chico, Yildiz play behind him. If Yildiz had to get a break, it'd be David, Chico, Kolo. And if David needed a break, Chico, Yildiz, Kolo. I think those four can just rotate in and amongst themselves, and it'll be fine. We probably do need one more player in that area just in case an injury does happen, but not like a high profile. Like I'm not down with Sancho, to be honest, at all at this point. I was more interested in Enzo Milo from Stuttgart, but it looks like he's going to let it go. It is what it is. Now, okay, I guess let's talk about Kolo for a couple more, because we got Raffaello here saying, if we get Kolo, do you think we will play with two strikers much more often than we did this season? I don't think so. I think unless you're counting David in the roaming 10 position as a striker beside Kolo Muani, like if you're counting that, then I think that will happen. But I don't think in the literal formation that you see on the screen before games, I don't think it'll be any time it'll be two strikers. That's just my opinion. I think Tudor likes to play with the two roaming 10s, and you've seen that through every club he's played or he's coached. Juventus, Lazio, Verona, Marseille, all those teams. He's not changed. Don't forget to like the video as well, people. And then Sky goes back to the coach. Yeah, we need a coach. We need a coach. We need a better coach. And then Wando says about the Chico money, we couldn't have spent Chico's money on a left center back and play 3-4-1-2 with those two up top. I feel that's better profiles. Listen, I think it's still unclear what the heck we're doing, because it was Tudor who wanted to retain Chico as a touchline winger when he doesn't play with those. That was his decision. He made that clear to Comoli, and Comoli got the job done for that one. Whoop-de-doo. But I think if you are playing this formation, you need an Enzo Milo, you need roaming 10s, you need a Nico Paz, you need a Dybala, you need those type of players to play in that role, like a Yildiz. Yildiz is a perfect number 10, like a roaming 10. Perfect. He can drift wide, but he can also pick up the ball in the middle. He's comfortable in those areas. No problem. So it is what it is. we're going to move on to the next topic. So topic 2 is done. Kolo Muani's the Nunez Kolo Muani thing is done for now until we get to the Q&A section. Now we're going to move on to topic 3, which is the literal the show, the banner at the bottom, Sancho at risk and the window. So Sancho is at risk. Sancho's at risk now. Not because... Sorry, my dog just walked down. Not because we were very linked to him, because apparently all the Italian media was saying that we were very linked to him over the course of 2 months. But now that Sky Sports Germany is getting involved and saying that Dortmund want him back. So, I don't know if... Hold on. Let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, I'm just searching. Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. Berger. I didn't have this one ready. Oh, there you go, Patrick Berger. Let's see if you said it from Sky Sports Germany about Sancho. Oh, there you go, right here. Okay. At the stage. Okay, let me... Oh, that's in German. Hold on. Let me see if I can change that. Translate post. Okay, so Patrick Berger, the insider that works for Sky Sports Germany. Dortmund is once again dealing with Jadon Sancho. It's 25 in English. The topic is still being discussed internally. It's not entirely closed. Manchester United is said to be demanding around 18 million to 20 million euros. This is the current situation. So, we see it right there. Sky Sports Germany. They're okay, especially when it's a German club involved. I think this is the move for Sancho, to be honest. I think this is... I don't think we've actually, like, as we all know, well, I assume we all know, but I'll just give context again. David Ornstein, the best English journalist in terms of soccer insider reporting, literally came out and said last week that Jadon Sancho is not even close to Juventus. After every single Italian media member said the deal was close, it's a matter of time before we sign the player. His agent is at Continassa, his agent is at the J Hotel, intermediaries are there, yada, yada, yada. And then Giovanni Albanese, one of Juventus's insiders, literally had the picture of the intermediary there at the J Hotel, so it is what it is. I don't believe that deal is even close, or this deal is even close. I think we are interested. I don't know why we're interested, but I think we are interested in the player. I think that we've agreed a deal with Man United, but I don't think we've ever been close to agreeing a deal with Sancho and his agents, because he's making so much money at Man United. He's being asked to half his salary, basically, to come to Juventus. And we have to wait until we sell 2 players before we can even bring him. Like, Weah and Nico Gonzalez have to go before that guy even comes in. Are we really, as a club, thinking, yes, Sancho will be the difference here? We need to do everything possible. We need to get rid of 2 players and bring in this guy. Like, I don't know. I don't know about this whole thing. I was never convinced. Not even just about the player. Like, I see everybody in the chat saying, yeah, we don't really need him. He's I personally, like, on his day for Dortmund back in the day, the guy was awesome. No, you can't say he wasn't. All I know is that he would be brought in, like, and the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. Jadon Sancho is a good roaming 10. So I think personally the profile fits for the system. I just don't think he himself is a fit for Juventus. if that makes any sense. Like his personality, his way of going about things. I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything. I'm just saying the way he goes about things is very Douglas Luiz like nonchalant. I don't know if I'm gonna wear it. Like the effort level, it doesn't look like he has a lot of effort to him. His lifestyle. And I'm not saying it's a bad lifestyle or whatever. Or what. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying about Jadon Sancho is there's a certain work ethic you need to have at Juventus for you to be for you to work out. Douglas Luiz didn't have that, clearly. Arthur Melo never had that, clearly. Like players who have the nonchalant attitude, who, and again, I'm not saying they didn't show up to training every day. Narak, that's exactly what I said. Right profile, wrong player. He himself is not right for Juventus, I don't think. So I don't know what we're doing here. And then you see in the media saying, oh, yeah, Kamoli's having second thoughts because of his attitude or whatever. I'm like, you didn't think of this before? Like, he was sent to the mountains by Man United one time. And again, I personally don't know Sancho, but there's a reason why he got sent to the mountains. There's a reason why that dude went to the mountains. There's a reason why that dude got... There's been like 3 or 4 different coaches at Man United who all don't want him to play for Man United, like Amarim, Ten Hag. I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had him, but like, and then Ragnick was there when he was there. Like they've had 4 different coaches there when he was there. And are you telling me that all 4 of them couldn't get the best out of him? So that's why, like, I don't believe the media in general about this one, and I don't believe this is the correct player in itself either. But the roaming 10 attribute that he has, his role, is correct. I'll give him that at least. But that's why I'm saying go for Enzo Milo from Stuttgart, who has a 20 to 23 million release clause. You give Stuttgart 24 million, and you say, I'm going to pay you over 4 years, 6 million each year, and you go for Enzo Milo instead. Fresh face, eager to work hard, French, so it goes along with the French freaking theme at this club at right now. Trying to get into the French national team, so you know the hunger's there. Nothing's been given to him. Not big wages. I think Enzo Milo would have been the perfect player to come to Juventus this summer, but he's going to Atletico Madrid. Looks like it's a shame. But yes, that is the Jadon Sancho stuff. Let me know what you guys think. I know people have been letting me know already. Again, I can't really scroll up here. Let me just click there. No. I don't have my mouse today. Shoot. Sorry. So if I missed your... Oh, okay. I can go up a bit. I'm just going to read some of these things. So we'll start with Nirax. Nirax says, Sancho is not a risk at all. He is the risk. Absolutely. I agree. I just had my whole monologue about him. So it is what it is. Sky saying, I don't believe that we need Sancho. We have more than enough up front already. I still think we need another body, especially because I don't know, the Nico Gonzalez thing didn't work. I don't want Fabio Moretti to play. Like, that's still the biggest question mark to me about the summer too. What are we going to do with Moretti? I think we need to bring another 10 in, and that's why I said Milo. Sky saying, what do you think that Sancho will bring to the game that we already don't have? When he's on, link up play, creativity, and I'm not gonna say goal scoring because like it's not his biggest attribute, but link up play and creativity, unlocking defenses, getting everybody involved, finding open space. Similar to Yildiz, but on the other side it would be. Nirak saying, I think Kamoli is trolling. He feeds Italian news, fake news, and Fabrizio, Berger, and the others get the truth. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the Italian media with this club right now. Raffaello saying, would Dortmund pay him more than us, though? I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if it's between Dortmund and Juventus and we're offering like 500K more, a week or a year, I think he'll still go to Dortmund because he's comfortable there and he's had success there. That's my opinion again. He seems like a guy that you need to cater a lot to him in order for him to be successful. At Juventus, he'll be catered, but not spoon-fed. At Dortmund, he'll probably be spoon-fed because they love him. They love him there. Again, my opinion. And then Raffaello says maybe he just doesn't suit the Prem. So many players do good in other leagues and just fail in the Premier League or just Man United and Chelsea in general. I think he was not bad at Chelsea, to be honest. But again, he plays a touchline winger. What if he played like? There's so many variables to his game. And then Sky saying Juve doesn't think the way that you're thinking. I will look Enzo Milo up. So Sky, if you're gonna look up Milo, it's Millot. That's his last name, but I'm sure you'll find him. Nirak is saying, how excited would you be just to see an Enzo Milo? Here we go right now. No bullshit, no gossips, just buddy. I would be like, I won't be like he's not the guy who's going to get you off your seat or anything. He'll just be a good player that comes in. He'll be a good squad player, good rotational player, along with David, along with Yildiz, along with Chico, like one of those players that'll just help out the team and do well. I think he would do well. Because again, I know I'm going to sound like a data nerd here, but his per 90 passing metrics, he's in the upper percentile in passing the ball into the box. I know that's nerd talk. I know nobody cares about that, but like, it's key to get into the box. It's key to make those passes that get to someone into the box. If you're passing the ball into Kolo Muani into his path, he has a free shot at goal. You need these players. You need these players to set up Yildiz. Yildiz can't be setting up everybody. He needs to be fed too. Like when David's playing, he's a poacher in the box. He's a fox in the box. He needs the ball to his feet. Enzo Milo is that without the quote-unquote baggage that Sancho has. Wando saying, Yildiz, Moretti, Chico, Gonzalez, rate these 10s out of, well, Yildiz, I'm not going to say he's a 10 because everyone, like, he's young. He's like 20 or 21. He can improve, of course. I'll say he's like a 7.5. Moretti, I don't know, man. I'm not his biggest fan. I'll say 5. Chico is not a 10. I'll say 5.5. And Gonzalez is, buddy, that's a track runner. Nico Gonzalez is a track runner. He's not a soccer player. Hot take about him though. I'd keep him as a left wing back. That's a hot take about it. Not as a 10. Never as a 10. But I'd keep him as a left wing back. And then Wando says, Yildiz, David, Kolo, Chico, best attack in Serie A, or do we? I think you need to add one more to that mix. You need to add one more to that quartet of players. So Yildiz, David, Chico, Kolo. You need to add one more. If it was Milo, I would say probably like, if not the best attack, like second best attack in the league. Just because it's interchangeable, everyone can play and rotate everywhere, except for probably Chico as the main 9. But man, I would like our attack. You get Kolo and Milo done. And again, we're not linked to Milo, so it is what it is. Sky is saying we have a game tomorrow. Yeah, this week we play Reggiana, I believe. I think August 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. And then do you think we should give Thiago Giallo a chance at the defense? We haven't really played him since Gentili signed him a few seasons ago from Lille. If he's still at the club by the time we play our first game, yeah, I think he's going to play. Unless they're giving him the Chiesa treatment like last year, where you can't play games. But I don't think they're doing that to these players this year. I don't think they're doing that to these players. And I don't know if that's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It keeps their value, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think Thiago Giallo is like the 9th center back on our team at this point in the pecking order. Rafael Franco saying Tudor will have Coop playing the 10 role. Okay. I'm not, and this is nothing against you, Rafael, but like Coup Miners, I he was either so out of shape last year, or he moves like he moves like a refrigerator. I and I don't see how he can keep up with these players that are in the attack with him. I like from what I'm understanding of what Tudor is going for in the attack are fast players. Not fast, quick-minded, link-up players, and they're all interchangeable. I think Coop Miners has the brain to do that, of course, because he's a very smart player. But I don't think his body can keep up with what these other guys are going to be doing. And if he's going to be playing with a trident like that, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up. If he plays center midfield, I don't think he's athletic enough to keep up. So his role in the team is basically, if we played in a 3-man midfield, I think that's when Coop Miner will play. But we're never going to do that. So I think at this point, it looks like we're trying to replace Locatelli too. From what it looks like. So I think the two in midfield, the pivot in midfield, is going to be Thuram and the second most athletic player monster that we have in the team. That's why I think we're going for the Brazilian guy from Wolves, Andre, because he's a monster. He's a physical beast in midfield. I don't know, like they're identifying Morten Hjulmand from Sporting, like, and he wins a lot of, like, I don't think he's the most athletic either, but like he wins a lot of tackles. He wins the possession a lot. So they probably entered his data into his what's it called? Komoli's database, and they were like, hey, he wins the ball a lot. Let's use him. But yeah. So I find it hard to know what role Coop Miner is going to play next year. And Sky saying Tudor doesn't read the game well enough and his substitution stuff. Yeah, he doesn't read the game well enough. He has his way. He wants two destroyers or two monsters, athletic monsters in the midfield. He wants the trident that are interconnected and fluid in attack. And then he wants his defense to be the five in the back when we don't have the ball, and then the wing backs to join the attack. It's not complicated, but I don't know how good it is either. Selling Mbangula for 12 million hurts me so much. It didn't hurt me as much. We knew it was happening. He played 4 minutes under Tudor in like 17 games. I think we knew it. So yeah. And then, okay, let's close off the Sancho thing because I guess we're done talking about Sancho. We're gonna move on to our fourth topic after I read these comments. So Wando saying give Chico Coop Miner's brain. Yeah, that'd be great. If Chico had half a brain, he'd be really dangerous. Can he learn that at the club? Probably not. He's 22. I don't know if he has room to grow in that aspect, but we'll see. Rafael saying if Locatelli's bench for Andre Hjulmand, who's the captain? Di Gregorio, Bremer? I don't know. Maybe Bremer. Maybe Gatti if he starts. This guy's saying if Coop can do of what he did, or if Coop, sorry, let's put that on the screen first. If Coop can do half of what he did at Atalanta, it will really help us. Yeah, but I don't think it's for him. I don't think this is for him. And then Wando saying Andre and Florentino Luis is better than Hjulmand. I'm not the biggest fan of Hjulmand. We saw him at Lecce before he moved on to Sporting. It was a weird move for me seeing that anyway. But apparently he's done well there. So, cool. And then let's move on to our last topic, and it is talking about our defense. And I've seen a couple of you already mention it. And I have a funny. How do I remove this now? Oops. Remove. No. There you go. Now I can share screen. It's a new tab. That's why it's screwing up here. Here we go. Share. And then if we go back here, add to stage. So, ooh, that banner is kind of cutting it off. But if we look and compare Lloyd Kelly, Giovanni Leone, because that's who we're linked to, the Parma young center back. We're linked to like a mega $1 million move, like 30 million we're talking about for an 18-year-old defender. Federico Gatti and Pierre Kalulu. So if we see here on our nice chart from respect to data MB, you can look at this when you can look at this website for free. You can compare whoever you want. Our best defender, that's not named Bremer, because Bremer didn't have enough time. Bremer didn't have enough time played for him to be put into this algorithm. But if we look, Lloyd Kelly is in the top percentile for defensive duels. He's decent in the air, and he gets a lot of possession won. Now his forward passes are garbage. His passing in general is garbage. His carrying is decent, but his passing, if you see the bottom three stats down there, he's not very good. So the green is Gatti, and we know what Gatti is. Apparently, we love Gatti's grinta and all that stuff, yada yada yada. But his main attributes are with the ball, which is nuts. Who would have thought that? And he stinks in the air. He's like 6'2" for nothing. And Kalulu's even worse. Kalulu's the yellow. Obviously, he's the best with the ball on our team. That's why we got him. But defensively speaking, Kalulu stinks. Kalulu's awful defensively. But that's why you'd hope you have two better defensive players around him. So, I'm not saying Lloyd Kelly is good. I'm not saying Lloyd Kelly is like we need to keep Lloyd Kelly and it was a good deal to start with. It's not. 25 million for Lloyd Kelly is crazy. But if we're talking about what we need to improve on, it is our defense. And I think every single Juventus fan knows that. We saw the Club World Cup. We saw Man City just pull our pants down. We saw it. We saw it firsthand. And don't tell me it's the Club World Cup. It doesn't mean anything. We sought out to win that tournament. Like, we tried. We put out our best foot. We smacked around two garbage teams. If we didn't care about the tournament, we would have lost those. Or not lost. We would have destroyed those teams. Right? Man City, yes, we didn't play our strongest 11. I don't know if he was trying to make a point about it, Tudor, but still, you don't concede 5 goals as Juventus. Now, looking at it, we currently have who? Kalulu, Kelly, Gatti, Bremer, Rugani, Cabal, and Savona. That's like 7 names. And Djalo, so 8 names. 8 names. Only one is like, wow, that's a good player. We used to have Barzali, Bonucci, Chiellini, and Mehdi Benatia, who was awesome as our 4th choice defender, center back. Mehdi Benatia was a very, very, very good defender. And he was our 4th choice. In that team, Bremer would be our 4th choice. Now he's again, and I'm not knocking Bremer here. I think he's awesome. But he's coming off a torn ACL, and everyone else we've seen it for a year almost. How bad our defense is. Look at that graph right there. Our main center backs, when Bremer was hurt this year, were Kalulu and Gatti. And they couldn't win a header to save their life. Now, you see Leone's stats in there. They're not very good besides the aerial presence. So, he's 18 years old. Are we really going to spend 30 million on him? I don't want to. I'd rather spend 30 million on Vega. Remember Renato Vega? The guy who's dying to stay at our club? I'd rather spend it on him. I just thought this chart would be fun for people to see that Lloyd Kelly is actually statistically a very good defender. But I'll say this as well. Imagine our center backs next year were Vega, Bremer, and for just to throw it in there so we don't have to buy another one, Kalulu, to play the ball out. So Kalulu plays the ball well, whatever. But then we get confused because our right wing back is what? Is Joao Mario, who sucks at defense. So it makes no sense. We're going to have Joao Mario. We're going to have Kalulu on the right side of our defense that are garbage at defending. And then we're going to have Vega and Bremer on the other side. Like, maybe Bremer can cover Kalulu, but if we want to start Kalulu, we might as well get a good right wing back. Like, if we got Nahuel Molina from Atletico for defensive purposes, wouldn't that make more sense? And then a good coach. No, not Gatti. No. We need Kalulu to start to get the ball out of our own end because Bremer is grenade football when he has the ball. So if Kalulu starts right center back and Molina plays as a right wing back, when you are in possession, it makes more sense for Chico starting now if Molina doesn't attack as much. Then Chico can go wide. Yildiz can come into the middle. Cambiaso as a left wing back can move up even more in the attack. And then you have 4 essentially at the back when we go attack. With Vega, Bremer, Kalulu, Molina. Then Chico makes more sense because then the wide area on the right-hand side is more open. But who in the right mind thinks Tudor would want to do that or can do that or can coach that? I don't know. So yeah, let's continue the center back talk. Narak is saying, do you think Kamoli saw the first 7 games of the season, last season, 1 goal conceded, and think all we need? I'm going to be completely honest and say yeah. And to me, like, Bremer's awesome in that regard too, because Bremer was so used to a 3 at the back from Torino, his Torino days, and Max Allegri's second stint with Juventus was 3 at the back. Thiago Motta played 4 at the back. So he conceded 1 goal in the 90th minute and a meaningless goal in the Champions League. We conceded 1 goal when Bremer was playing, and that was the goal, and a back 4 where he wasn't even used to it. That guy's elite, man. Like, Bremer's elite. Like, he's never going to be Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzali, but Bremer is elite. And maybe our management think, yeah, he's coming back. It's like a new signing. Like Cabal too. Like, who knows about Cabal now? Raffaello's saying, I'm so confused. We're linked with only 1 center back, of which is not going to play for us next season if we got. Yeah, the Leone thing makes no sense to me, especially for the price. So we've seen Coppola from Verona go to Brighton for 11 million euros. Right? We've seen Coppola do that. We're about to see Gilardi from Verona go to Roma for 11 million euros. 22 years old. Coppola's 21 years old, Italian international. We've seen, what's his name? Oh, yeah, and then Leone's the other one. And all of a sudden, he's 30 million euros. How does that make sense? I don't want to pay that money. I don't want him, to be honest. I don't want it. I don't want Leone at that price. If it's going to be that price, and then, like, I'm kind of, again, a data nerd as well. This doesn't convince me. And I get it. He's 18. I get it. And Sky, I completely agree with you. Our next, after you get a number 10, the next number 10, you have to get another center back. I see Narak saying Calafiori would be the best LCB option, and in a perfect world where Juventus had money to spend and they weren't FFP problems in the European competitions, and we had a decent relationship with Bologna and Joey Saputo, I would agree Calafiori would be great, and I would, in a perfect world, Calafiori would have his knees working. But his knees don't work anymore. It's a shame he's 23 and his knees did that to him. But I don't want Calafiori either, because I don't want to spend 45 million and him play 20 games a season. I'm over that. I'm over J medical players. I'm so over it. We just need the players to play. And I guess now is a great just transition to going into our Q&A, final segment of the show. I'll go over the next 4 or 5 minutes with you guys, whatever questions you have, whatever you guys want to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up for another Bianconeri Zone evening show, late evening. Also, remember to like if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. Sky is saying we need someone like Alex Del Piero as the president. And isn't it funny how he's been asked by media so many times and he just can't give you an answer? He probably sees the club and he's probably saying to himself, this is not my club. This isn't what I remember. I'm sure if he was dead set and saying, yeah, things look normal here, I'll gladly join the club, I think he would have already been the president already. But I think he's a smart dude, and I think he's like, you know what? I like this punditry gig. I like my lifestyle here in the U.S. It is what it is. Raffaello saying, is Laporte to Bilbao a done deal yet? I think it is, but I think they're just in the final stages of the deal. But I agree. Laporte, Bremer, Vega, it would be very good. Very good. Sky saying Calafiori is a medical disaster. Yes, that was my point. Great player, but I don't want him. Nirak is saying, I remember in January Chelsea wanted 20 million for Vega, and I think I mentioned this to the group chat. Yeah, I mentioned it to the group chat in Bianconeri Zone. We made an obligation deal for Lloyd Kelly for 25 million euros. But we only wanted a dry loan for Renato Vega. What possessed, would you even at that point, would you rather spend 25 mil on Lloyd Kelly or even 30 if Chelsea said 30 on Renato Vega? One was 21, one is 26 or something. One, yes, came from Basel or whatever, and he was a relative unknown. But he came in the same footsteps as Calafiori, as a left back, left center back hybrid. Good at passing, good at getting involved in the play. I think Vega's even a better, just pure defender than Calafiori. But I think Calafiori is better with the ball, obviously. But similar mold of player. But you wanted Lloyd Kelly, who was a bench player at Bournemouth and Newcastle. It never made any sense. But again, statistically, as we saw in the graph about 10 minutes ago, a really good defender. Just straight up a really good defender. And good in the air. Something we lacked. Not with the ball, but straight up defending. Calvin Jones saying, couldn't make the stream, but do you think Elkin will sell the club soon? We have no ambition to spend, just settling for top 4. I think so. No, I don't think he'll sell the team. Kind of wish he did. I know he's in cahoots with a lot of American owners, and they love to spend money. I don't think they. So, this is a big question. With a long-winded answer that I could say, but it's going to be so long. I'll just try to make it short. The money that we make in this league, in this club, is nowhere compared to the Premier League. Obviously, we all know that. So, like, let's say, because Jeff Bezos is like a good friend of John Elkann. Let's say John Elkann says, "Hey, Jeff, do you want to buy Juventus from me?" And Jeff Bezos says, yeah, it's kind of like what Bowley did with Chelsea, right?" And John Elkann says, "Yes, but no, because Chelsea makes so much money via revenue, and obviously they pulled a lot of shit with selling their club and the hotels and whatever. And I'm sure Jeff Bezos would be able to do that too. But the amount of money Chelsea make compared to us and is kind of a reason why they can spend so much. Plus, they can sell really well. They just sold Joao Felix for 40 million euros when he barely kicked the ball last year. They sold Noni Madueke for like 55 million. Like, we're trying to sell off Mbangula for 12 and and sell off Weah for 10. It's not, it wouldn't be enticing for an American billionaire to own Juventus when they know they probably can't spend the money. And Sky is saying we need a new billionaire owner. Exor is a billionaire company, is a $1 billion company. These guys, like John Elkann, has money. So I think the ambition is there to spend money, because last year we spent money. It's just the way we have to do is we have to sell, we have to make every competition. We got lots of money from the Club World Cup. We got money, but we have to make sure we're always in the positive in terms of our balance sheet and in terms of UEFA financial fair play, because it's different than normal financial fair play because they got PSR rules, all that shit's involved, and there's a reason why we can't spend as like we could if there was no rules. If there's no rules, Juventus could spend all the money that like Exor has so much money. Exor has so much money. If we weren't a publicly traded company, if we didn't have UEFA financial fair play, and if we didn't have PSR rules, we'd have so much money to spend. But these three things come in, and we can't spend as much. Or else I'm sure they would spend a lot. We used to all the time. Yes, we sold Zidane, and that was a lot of money, but we got Buffon, Thuram, Nedved all, like 3 days later. All for lots of money. I think the biggest problem with us is like it's a publicly traded company, and you can't tell the shareholders, yeah, we spent 55 million euros on this player that they don't care about. Like, there has to be a business plan why we're doing it. And I don't think Jeff Bezos or American owner X or American owner Y want to do that for this particular club. For Premier League clubs, they're all doing it. But for this one, not sure. I know some bought Milan and Roma, but look how much they're spending. They can't spend anything either. We can't spend anything either. Or Milan and Roma can barely spend it. They have to sell to buy. Milan sold to Johnny Reinders, and now they can buy 3 or 4 players. Roma sold a couple of players, and now they're signing a bunch of players. Like, that's what we have to do, and that's the current state of the league. I think I've seen one more comment that I want to get to before I wrap up. Again, please like if you haven't already. Oh yeah, it's Narax here. So if I could have 4 players, because someone did that at the very beginning of the stream, if I could have 4 players at Juventus right now, it would be Kolo Muani, it would be, and realistic, Kolo Muani, Enzo Milo, Piero Hincapié, which you referenced right here, and Felix Nemecha from Borussia Dortmund, center midfielder. Those are the 4 players that I would realistically want on the team right now. So yeah, at this point, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening to another live at the Bianconeri Zone, late night for North Americans, early morning for Europeans. If you're watching on the playback, thank you for listening as well. Maybe something happened in the market and the 4 topics we talked about today are moot, but I doubt it with this club. And with that, I will say see you next week, because I'll probably be on a Monday or Tuesday again. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.